Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Very happy Jason today. Just been and picked up the car you can see in the title. The legendary Ford Escort RS Cosworth. What a day out. Now, it's in for a detail at work, but he's also said to me, go take it for a drive, do what you want to do with it. Tell your followers your opinion on the Ford Escort Cosworth, and we're going to go into some detail about this legendary car. Today, sadly, it is a bit drizzly. This isn't the weather you want to have one of these cars in. It's just not. I mean, nothing to do with the way it drives. It just seems like, I don't know, it's too precious to be out in anything little than a summer day. But it doesn't matter. He's not precious like that over this car. So we've just, well, I've just picked it up from his house. He picked me up from work. I've now left him at his house. I'm now driving through to the studio. It does feel good in a way to be back in one of these. I had my own one of these back in 2020. Had it for about 18 months, 2 years, Imperial Blue Big Turbo. But I'll be honest with you, I couldn't get on with it. I am a Mark III Escort man at heart. The 4x4 gearbox and the combined with the large turbo, for me, it wasn't the best thing to drive. I just wasn't about it. I much prefer the sharpness and the agile feel of a Series 1 RS Turbo, or obviously of course nowadays a 1600i. I just couldn't get along with it. Now I know a two-wheel drive Cosworth is a completely different kettle of fish. Having driven a few of those in my life, I do love the two-wheel drive box and that ability to have a bit of a flick and a bit of a play with them. The four-wheel drive though, for me, it's just, I'm not a massive fan. I'm hoping today is going to re-energise my love towards the Cosworth, but who knows? I mean, they do sound good. And it does go well. This is a mildly tuned small turbo variety, so after that little blip there, what I can tell you is a lot different to the last time I drove my one, which is a big turbo tuned to approximately 350 horsepower. It took an eternity to come on boost, whereas this car does not. I much favour these days the small turbo over the large. I can tell you that initially from this 5 minutes in the car. Sorry, puddles on the road, just trying to avoid. The quicker I get this back to the studio, the better. But hey, you guys at home, would you meet your hero? I think these are the ultimate poster car from my generation. This was the car you had on your bedroom wall, sat next to a poster of an RS 500 Cosworth. This and that were the two iconic cars and were totally out of reach of my entire teens and 20s. I didn't get to experience one until I was 39 years old. It took me all that time to be able to afford to buy one of these cars, and every year that I've seen them go up for sale, they're just getting further and further away in price. So I'll be honest with you, I sold my reasonably low mileage, so mine was a 54,000 mile 3-keeper Imperial Blue big turbo with a rather fetching set of compomotive wheels on it and in very nice order. Wasn't a restored car, it was a survivor car with, as it left the factory, underseal, panels and most of the paint. I sold that car in 2020 for exactly £50,000. I sold that to a good friend of mine who still has the car to this day. That was K37 FMC. Now, my favourite bit of owning an Escort Cosworth was to sit down on a chair, sit behind it, have a cup of tea and look at it. Now I could look at one for hours. I enjoyed looking at it and taking photographs of it more than I did the actual driving. agricultural in road car format. The gearbox throw, the brake feel, and on the bigger turbos, how long they take to boost. This car, I can't say that. The small turbo is certainly a more sprightly feeling Cosworth than its T34 equipped larger brother. But I don't know, it's still nice memories being sat in one of these. I'm not going to complain. I'm lucky that in my job I get to experience these cool cars without the expense of owning them, which for me is, I'm very fortunate that there are people that are willing to let me have a little bit of fun, pop it on YouTube, have it at work and detail it, and that kind of gives me my feel for it. It gives me that fizz, and after that I'm like, I really enjoyed that, but I'm not sure I really want to go and buy one and have it there for whenever I wanted to use it. So yeah, I'm still on the fence, you know, meeting your hero. How many of you guys have actually wanted an RS Escort Cosworth and then bought one and then was a little bit disappointed like me? I'd be interested to see in the comments, or your friends, you know, or did you own one back in the 90s when they were new, where this car would have felt cutting edge and literally was the king of the road? And I feel that Ford's, with the RS brand, there was such a large gap between the 96 and 95 registered Cosworths and then 2002/3 when the Mark 1 Focus RS arrived. And the Mark 1 Focus RS was such a driver's car. Now I've had two of those and I've thoroughly enjoyed both of them and would happily welcome one back in the garage stable at some point if the right car came along. But the Mark 1 felt so futuristic in every way forwards than this does, but it just didn't have the looks. I know it had the wide arches, still had a 2-litre turbocharged 16 valve engine, and I know it was front wheel drive, but it was such a cracking driver's car, you kind of didn't mind, and it did look good. The package that it came with, the Oz wheels, the decent gearbox upgrades, and the limited slip differential, and the clutch, and the Sachs shocks and springs, it was just a complete package out the box. The Mark 1 Focus RS did feel just that bit more cutting edge after this car's dynasty had ended. But there's still a massive following for these cars, and there is a reason why they are so expensive. The numbers are dwindling, a lot of them were rallied, and a lot of the low mileage purist examples that are out there are fetching mental money. And I think it comes down to the fact that these cars have now fallen majority into the hands of collectors over what I would say is the hands of the people like me that are just genuine Ford RS enthusiasts. I'm not sure, like, I don't think I could part with the retail money for what these cars are demanding today. I just don't think I'd love it enough to do that. I think there's a lot of cars out there between the 50 and 90,000 pound price bracket that these cars demand now that I would sooner go and buy. Maybe I'm just being a stick in the mud. Maybe you guys might say different, but as lovely as they are, I just don't love the way they drive. Maybe tomorrow I'll change my mind. Listen, I'm going to have this car for the week, and I'm going to blog my week with it, living with an Escort Cosworth for a week. I'm going to use it to go to work and back if the weather allows. Might even take it to the shops. We'll see. Does an Escort Cosworth work in daily life? I don't know. These cars were a daily used vehicle in the 90s. Yeah, they were special and they were more expensive, but like Ford do so well, they were a Ford Escort, Britain's most popular, best-selling hatchback of all time. Now, the reason that's why they sold is you can have a sporty one. It's the working man's supercar. It really is. It was just definitive in the 90s. But now, moving on, for the same price, I think I'd probably have a Mark 2 Focus RS, a Mark 1 Focus RS, and maybe something from the 80s like an XR3. I'd rather have 3 vehicles that I could enjoy for the price of this one. But listen, this is video 1. I'm going to blog my week through, you know, using this car. We will do some videos of us cleaning it and show you just how nice this example is. But I don't know, I still don't get that fizz of meeting my hero. It's a shame, isn't it? Like, I should be so excited, but having had time in one and owned one, and now fast forward 5 years to today, I still wouldn't pay the price for one. I think if they were still 25, 30 grand, fair enough, but they're not. They are nowhere near that price tag anymore. You're not buying even a rotten one at that price. I don't know, let me know in the comments, what do you want to see from my week with this Ford Escort Cosworth? Do you want to hear some noise from outside? Do you want to hear the under the engine bay sounds? Do you want me to take it for a proper on it B-road drive? I don't know. I'd rather see what you guys have to say in the comments. But yeah, day 1, a Ford Escort Cosworth. We're at the first week of February. A nice way to start Feb, I must say. And you know, I will agree with the next guy. Probably the most iconic shape and view of an exterior of a fast Ford. It has to be said. They are stunning to look at from every single angle. But they just don't drive as good as they look. On that note, I'll see you guys on the next blog video with the Ford Escort Cosworth. Just as I finished the video on the Cossie, just parked it up there, a friend with a very, very fast Focus has just turned up. So this is what I'm saying. This is an absolute animal. Ah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? The Focus ST is a great car, but this one has got a mad spec. I'm just going to ask him if he doesn't mind if I show my followers around it. Hello, mate.
All right.
Listen, I've got the camera out and I'm just midway through and doing a video. Do you mind if I show everyone at home your car?
Go on then.
Oh, good lad. That doesn't matter. What is the spec of this car?
Forced engine, big turbo build, big G3770.
What was that turbo?
G3770.
Okay, cool. So I obviously follow you on socials. I see this car all the time, and it is a mad thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is this got a screamer pipe?
Screen pipe that's now on the floor. It used to be out the scuttle, out the front, but it's now on the bottom.
Yeah, nice. You still haven't taken me up the road in this car, have you?
Every time I take people out, it always ends up weather like this.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare, isn't it?
Oh, it's horrible.
Mate, we have to fix this up one day. I think you guys would agree. It's how much horsepower?
At the minute on a mid boost, just under 600.
Okay, just under 600 horsepower, front wheel drive, Focus ST, and I take it it's got aftermarket management.
Yeah.
Yeah.
EMU black.
EMU black. Guys, if you want to see this on the channel, let me know in the comments below, and I will see if we can get a nice dry day and get up on the road. And you guys, you've come to pick some bits up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to get on and serve him, but if you guys are interested in seeing this, let me know. Right, well, it's home time. And what's the weather doing, Steve? Is that dry?
Dry.
Do you reckon that's Cossie weather?
There's no rain on the floor, then yeah.
It's happening. Right, so tonight, to conclude this video, I've got the keys, I've got the Cossie, gonna leave my van here. And I'm gonna daily this. The man told me to do it, so I'm gonna do it. But listen, I'm not gonna put all that in this video. You've seen enough today. But thank you for watching, and if you're interested in more and seeing more of this absolutely beautiful specimen of a car I don't really like driving, keep watching and we'll see you on the next one.